how personality shapes your future.
Ad sales, you are by far the most extrovert people in this place.
In general, people have unique personalities, which determines how they react to situations and interact with others. Because of this, there is plenty of room for conflict between these personalities, as different people have to interact to achieve a common goal. So what's the solution to this conflict? Simple. It is up to the leader or manager to facilitate the interaction between these people in order to accomplish said goals. And the well-rounded knowledge of personalities would go a long way in bringing a better understanding of how different people behave and respond in different situations. This kind of understanding will not only ease collaboration between everyone involved, but will also shed light on who is most likely to thrive under certain situations. Managers or leaders could attain this knowledge through different research studies that specialize in understanding personality, which we will describe further, such as the MBTI test, the Big Five model, and various other identified traits. We'll start with the MBTI test. This test divides people into 16 personality types based on 4 dimensions of personality. These 4 dimensions are extrovert or introvert, sensing or intuitive, feeling or thinking, and perceptive or judgmental. An introvert is a person who draws their energy from alone time. They don't like to have an extreme amount of external stimuli. They have an advantage in being focused on the task at hand, and a disadvantage, which would be a lack of interaction with other employees, which is considered a crucial part in any organization. As for extroverts, they draw their energy from action. They like to act first and think later. They tend to lose motivation as action declines. The advantage of extroversion is being more social, which helps with networking. They also find it easier to lead a meeting or do a presentation. A disadvantage would be a sense of dependence on external stimuli. That being said, it is important to know and to focus that just because someone is introverted doesn't mean that they can't handle social situations. Many introverts learn to socialize with people, but they need some time away from the action to regain their energy. A person who is sensing works best under a structured problem with a routine solution. They like to go by the book, while someone who is intuitive thrives on new, unstructured problems. An advantage of being sensing is always knowing that you are making the right decision. A disadvantage is being unable to adapt to sudden changes in an organization. As for intuitive types, an advantage would be adaptability, and the disadvantage would be making risky decisions that could possibly not pay off. A feeling type person is aware of how the people around them feel, and as a result work well with others. On the other hand, a thinking person is pragmatic and prefers logic over the emotions of others. An advantage to being a feeling type is good interpersonal skills, which reduces conflict. A disadvantage would be getting too personally attached to people. As for a thinking person, the advantage would be focus and dedication to the task, whereas the disadvantage is being unable to work with others. A perceptive type person likes to take time to consider options before making a decision. On contrast, a judgmental person would like to be decisive, clear, and direct about what decision to make to get the task done. An advantage of a perceptive type is flexibility in making calculated decisions. A disadvantage would be taking too much time to get the decision made. For a judgmental type, an advantage would be getting the task done on time, whereas a disadvantage would be not looking at all the options before making a decision. The Big Five model is intended to measure the 5 traits that have the most variation in human personality.
Openness. It's all about creativity and thinking outside the box. Conscientiousness describes how well we plan and how hard we work. Extroversion. Extroverts are outgoing, chatty, thrill seekers. Agreeableness. It's all about how well we get on with other people.
And neuroticism measures how we experience negative emotions like fear, guilt, and sadness.
Extroverts like to be in control or responsible of others and tend to seek out positions of authority. The degree of extroversion needed depends on the job, as we will see now with a top law firm in England and various departments of a well-known English magazine.
The employees here have been put through our personality test, and some have come along to help illustrate the results, for which we've also hijacked the office lifts. The trait that ties in with being ambitious and assertive.
We're getting straight to the top.
We're going quite fast.
Okay, what about medium extroversion?
I think they're going to go above us.
Yeah.
You need a certain amount of extroversion to get on at Freshfields, but you shouldn't be too high in the trait. As well as getting on with others, you need to be good at working on your own.
Agreeableness. People who score low on this trait will take longer to develop team building, mentoring, and coaching skills. Agreeableness is desirable in a leader, but not all jobs and positions need this trait, as you will see.
The top of the salary scale are low on our agreeableness scores. It can be a dog-eat-dog world, and you don't want to care too much about other people if you're going to get right to the top.
Conscientiousness is the degree to which someone is responsible, dependable, and persistent. This affects more their work tasks than it does the relationships with other people. Emotional stability can either be positive or negative. Positive is a degree the person is calm, enthusiastic, and secure. With negative, it's how nervous, depressed, or insecure they are. A leader with high emotional stability handles stress well and can take criticism. And as we're about to see, both positive and negative emotional stability have their advantage.
Well, they've all done our rigorous personality test and they've turned out in force to show you their results. How neurotic you all are.
Admin, you come out on top as the most neurotic.
Being high in neuroticism can actually be extremely useful.
It's all about lists and reminders and tick boxes. I can even wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and think, oh, I can't forget I need to do that tomorrow.
People who are high in openness often like to seek out new experiences and techniques. However, people low in this trait tend to stick to the tried and true ways.
Next, openness, the trait most linked with creativity. Yet again, a clear pattern emerges.
Editorial, your turn to win this time. You come out highest on openness, and admin and distribution the lowest.
I think being open in terms of creativity is completely vital. I mean, you know, a magazine is a creative thing. It has to be fresh and new and exciting and interesting.
Locus of control can be separated into two categories, external and internal. In layman's terms, a person with internal locus of control will take responsibility for their actions, while a person with external locus of control will blame various other people or forces and take responsibility. People with external locus of control are more likely to be dissatisfied with their jobs and disconnected with their work. People with high self-monitoring can adapt their behavior to the situation at hand. They are also likely to contradict their public behavior and their private behavior. Low monitors can't adjust their behavior. They carry their hearts on their sleeves, so to speak. They show their true attitude in every situation, even in situations that are not appropriate. Emotional intelligence is the ability to notice and manage emotional cues and information. Self-awareness as emotional literacy, the ability to know what you feel, with what you think and do in real time. People high in emotional intelligence typically know how to handle and keep in check their emotions, keep themselves motivated, and understand and emphasize with others and their emotions. According to Kunnert, those high in EI have more of a potential in being leaders because they can properly motivate, challenge, and inspire their teams to do a good job. Autocratic leadership tends to focus on centralized authority and low participation on the part of employees. The personality characteristic found to correlate with autocratic leadership was openness to experience.
Listen carefully. This is the racking department.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the candy will pass by on this conveyor belt and continue into the next room where the girls will pack it. Now, your job is to take each piece of candy and wrap it in one of these papers and then put it back on the belt. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
On the other hand, there is democratic leadership, which has high involvement, high participation, and gives and takes feedback. This leadership style is shown to give employees higher satisfaction in their jobs. It is positively correlated with conscientious people. A transactional leader focuses on motivating his followers by providing them with social exchanges such as rewards for their efforts at work. Another type of leader is called the transformational or charismatic leader. They inspire and lead their followers in order to achieve a certain outcome. They are enthusiastic, self-confident, and their personality and actions influence those around them to behave in specific ways.